了114，速度减不下来，应该是刹车没用了。
大致在什么位置？一定要告诉我。
第2个隧道了，第3个隧道要进去了，第4个隧道了，第6个隧道。
一键启动的键，你一直按去，连续啊。厂家是说应该会击掉的，交警在后面了，你不要怕啊，你不要怕。
Hi, I'm Brian Morrison from Glasgow, and I'm here in my electric car, MG ZS EV.
These incidents represent typical problems often observed in Chinese electric vehicles. Chinese electric cars, equipped with immature software systems like autopilot, are prone to system failures, and fires are especially a common and fatal issue in these vehicles. In 2021, the Chinese government reported at least 3,000 fires in electric cars, a significantly higher risk than traditional gasoline cars. Escaping can be difficult for passengers in case of fires. For example, on June 5 in Hainault, an electric car caught fire just 3 seconds after colliding with a local toll booth, for unknown reasons, resulting in the death of all 4 passengers. The MG ZS EV involved in this incident is the first fully electric model launched by the MG brand of SAIC Motors since its introduction in 2019. MG has been aggressively expanding into international markets, with Europe being a key target. Originally, MG was a renowned British brand, acquired by Nonging Automobile in 2005. Later, in 2007, SAIC Motors fully acquired Nonging Automobile, making MG part of SAIC. Perhaps due to the recognition of the original brand, the MG ZS EV has a competitive price. Affordably priced, it quickly gained traction in the European market and became a surprise in the exports of Chinese electric vehicles in recent years. Chinese new energy vehicle brands have expanded almost aggressively, relying on government subsidies and attempting to capture international markets with low prices. The Middle East, Europe, Southeast Asia, and South America are among their target markets. However, this competitive, low-cost dumping-like approach has raised concerns within the European Union, which sees the flood of cheap Chinese electric cars in the European market as a threat to its electric vehicle industry. In an interview with Radio Free Asia, Wang Zhongting, a research fellow at the Taiwan Institute of Economic Research, stated that the number of Chinese electric vehicles exported to Europe, along with their low prices, has created a sense of crisis among European countries. Currently, 1 in 10 electric vehicles in Europe is manufactured in China, a situation that is worsening. Last year, China surpassed Germany as the world's second-largest car exporter, and in the first quarter of this year, it surpassed Japan to become the leading global car exporter. Wang Jing noted that both Japan and European countries, especially Germany, are industrial powers, and the automotive industry is even a lifeline for their economies. The significant threat posed by Chinese electric vehicles to Europe has a considerable economic impact. The electric car sector occupies a substantial portion of the European GDP. Therefore, on September 13, the European Commission, in an attempt to protect the EU automotive industry, initiated an anti-subsidy investigation to determine whether imposing punitive tariffs on Chinese government-subsidized electric cars is justifiable. This action could be a significant blow to China's electric vehicle exports to the EU. Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission, stated in her annual report to the European Parliament, global markets are now flooded with cheaper Chinese electric cars, and their prices are artificially kept low by massive state subsidies. This is distorting our market, and as we don't accept this distortion from within our market, we won't accept it from outside. Therefore, I can announce today that the Commission is initiating an anti-subsidy investigation against electric vehicles coming from China. On October 4, the official journal of the European Union confirmed the anti-subsidy investigation into electric cars manufactured in China. The investigation has officially begun, with a planned duration of 1 year. The focus of the investigation is on recent electric cars imported from China. The EU stated that temporary measures, such as anti-subsidy duties on Chinese electric cars, may be implemented in the next 9 months. According to statistical data from the China Passenger Car Association, CPCA, Chinese automobile exports in August saw a growth of 31%, a figure surpassed by an even more substantial increase of 63% in July. In the first half of this year, Chinese companies exported nearly 350,000 electric vehicles to 9 European countries, exceeding the total export volume of last year. The European Union explicitly stated in the journal that it has sufficient evidence indicating that Chinese automakers are benefiting from subsidies from the Chinese government. These subsidies have allowed subsidized imports to quickly increase market share in the EU, harming the Union's industry. With China's overcapacity, the EU anticipates that the number of Chinese electric vehicles entering the European market could significantly increase in the future. A recent estimate from UBS suggests that by 2030, the global market share of Chinese automakers will increase from 17.7% to 33%, with European manufacturers potentially losing a significant portion of the market share. David Wong, an American economist, believes that the EU's anti-subsidy investigation stems primarily from the substantial government subsidies received by Chinese electric vehicles, resulting in an uneven competitive landscape. The EU may impose tariffs to protect European manufacturers from competition, which will undoubtedly have a significant impact on the exports of Chinese electric vehicles to Europe. In recent years, the Chinese government has allocated national resources to provide substantial subsidies to electric vehicle manufacturing companies, seeking to overcome China's industrial strength in transitioning from a manufacturing giant to a power center. Some analysts even believe that the Chinese government is unrealistically hoping to replace a rapidly declining real estate sector with electric vehicles as an anchor industry to drive GDP growth. Since 2009, the Chinese government has provided substantial subsidies for electric vehicles, in some cases exceeding the selling price of the vehicles themselves. Under the vigorous promotion of the Chinese government, there has been a massive influx of electric vehicle companies, including owners with no experience or history in car manufacturing, all aiming for a share of the market. The result has been the rapid emergence of companies whose primary goal was to defraud subsidies, clone open-source technologies from abroad, and rely on OEM factories for assembly, thereby claiming ownership of their brands. As long as the cars were produced and government subsidies guaranteed, the quality of the vehicles was irrelevant. This situation has led to the electric vehicle sector becoming another bubble in China, similar to the real estate market but even more problematic. According to statistics from China's National New Energy Vehicle Supervision Platform, as of March 2019, China had registered a total of 635 vehicle companies, with 486 successfully registered and 450 passing the platform's compliance tests. A total of 5,827 vehicle models passed compliance tests. However, with the gradual elimination of subsidies by the Chinese government, most electric vehicle brands have become a thing of the past. According to the China Association of Automobile Manufacturers, in January of this year, out of the 2022 vehicle brands in the sales ranking, only 149 new energy vehicle brands had sales last year. Among these, 49 brands sold fewer than 500 vehicles annually, with some ceasing production or on the brink of bankruptcy. Data shows that over 2 years, more than 80% of Chinese new energy vehicle companies have exited or are in the process of leaving the market. All of this has resulted in the entire industry generally being unprofitable. Companies like NIO, XPeng, and Li Auto, known as the three strong in China's electric vehicle market, are all in a state of substantial losses. NIO's losses reached 6 billion yuan in the second quarter, equivalent to a loss of 250,000 yuan per vehicle sold. XPeng's net loss in the second quarter was 2.8 billion yuan, with an average loss of 16,000 yuan per vehicle sold. By mid-year, Li Auto had accumulated net losses of over 12 billion yuan, still in a state of losing 50,000 yuan per vehicle sold. BYD stands out as the only profitable company in China's electric vehicle sector, albeit with modest profit margins. The highest profit per vehicle reaches around 10,000 yuan, while at its minimum, it barely exceeds 2,000 yuan. In contrast, Tesla's profit per vehicle can reach 74,000 yuan and never falls below 42,000 yuan, even at its minimum. Already dealing with substantial losses, the domestic electric vehicle market in China reflects a severe internal struggle, triggering a price reduction war and fierce competition. On the night of November 2, Lemotor announced price reductions on all its models, with discounts of up to 10,000 yuan. BYD, which initiated this round of price reductions, recently declared price cuts on several of its popular models, with the largest cut reaching 18,000 yuan. On the other hand, Tesla recently raised prices on its best-selling model. Facing competition from its Chinese counterparts, the electric vehicle giant maintains that its pricing system is always fair and transparent. Even after the price increase, Tesla insists that its Model Y remains the best product in its price range within the domestic market. What is your opinion on Chinese electric vehicles? Do you think they are of excellent quality? Would you consider buying a Chinese vehicle, or would you opt for the American competitor, Tesla? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel.